Hey everybody, welcome to my shop. Man, could you not ask for a better day to do some welding? So it is like 67 degrees out in the middle of June. Huh, I'll take it. As you can see, it's nice and overcast. It's been like raining the last 3 days, so it kind of cooled everything down. And prior to that, we had 90 plus degree days. So I welcome this nice cool weather because summer is right around the corner and we're not going to have many more of them. And this is my setup. Got her clamped down, got her squared up, got it almost centered. I'm off like 3 thou. I've been chasing that for like 15 minutes and that's the best I can get her. So that'll be acceptable for this because we're going to do a final bore where the bushing goes over on the mill, so everything will be right with the world there. But hopefully it's not going to move. Just have this block here, try to get to where the location of the first gusset is going to be. I can hold her and just tack her and then tack her, but that way I can get her straight. And got to get the welder set up. I've got 030 wire in there now, so I need to put the 035 wire in there and change the drive rollers. Ideally this would be a 045 dual flux core job, but I don't have any 045 wire. And even if I did, then I'd have to change the liner and change the rollers too. So we're just gonna burn it in with 035 in a hot setting and hope for the best. So let me get the welder fixed, get my gear on, and burn some weld. This is the inside of my welder. I figured I'd show it to you guys that are kind of new to welding or just didn't understand what I was talking about. So these are your drive rollers here. Get out so I can get the light in here. So the wire comes in here. I just took the roll off because the roll was there, and it feeds into here. These two rollers here, this is your lower, and then of course your upper goes here, and this is how you adjust your tension. So there's grooves in it, obviously different depths. So we have to turn this around because it was a shallower depth to grab the 030 wire. This is a little bit deeper to grab the 035 wire. And as you see, it is smooth in there. Now if you're running flux core, this is a flux core driver roll. And if you notice, it's got teeth in there to grab it because the flux is on the inside of that wire, and if you did it like this, it would just crush it and flatten it out. So you have to have these teeth in there to grab it. So these are what your drive rollers are. This is what you have to change when you change your wires. And of course you have to change your tips. You have different tip sizes, and then of course you've got a liner inside of your gun itself, and this liner will handle 030 and 035 wire. So just thought I'd show that real quick. Somebody's tuckered. He's had a busy day. Hey buddy, say hi to everybody on YouTube. I'm growing again. Huh? That's your spot? You gonna hang out? So yeah, I'm a good boy. I got one ear's trying to stick up. Got you set up about as close as I can get you. Don't really have a welding lens because I don't take that many welding shots, but give you a little bit of footage, and let's get this welding party started. Let's see here. See. Alrighty, I'm gonna continue on and we'll be back. So I ran a few beads. Obviously she's pretty hot. I'm gonna let her cool down and then I'll weld up in there the horizontal to the vertical, but not too bad. Should work. Well, she's all welded up. I think it came out pretty good. Hopefully minimal warpage. I'm just gonna let her cool completely in this clamp state. And hopefully we won't have too much stress when we undo everything, and she'll be fairly straight and true. And shop dog is, what you got? You stealing my acetone container? You little thief, you. Gee whiz. So the piece is totally cooled, and I went around and cleaned all the weld boogers off of it. I am pretty happy with it. You know, welding a little bit and then letting it cool, and you know, welding it some more and letting it cool seemed to work out pretty well. Plus having it you know, clamp down in a whole bunch of different ways, so we have minimal warpage. Let me move you guys around, so hopefully you will be able to see this. But so yeah, she looks good. She stayed pretty much perfectly squares from the best I can tell. Can't get in the corner because of the weld there, but pretty pleased. So that is good. We won't be fighting any twist. Next up, we need to put a hole in this piece of stock to retain the bearing, and I think what I want to do is we'll go ahead and drill and bore this out to about I don't know, 100 thou short of the OD that we need, and then we'll weld it on, and then we'll finish the final bore over at the mill. And what I want to do is you know, get this back on the angle plate and get it clamped down, so this is obviously, you know, nice and straight, because this needs to be in line with this. These two surfaces obviously have to be parallel, so that way we can bore it and not worry about you know, any error that's occurred as we've manufactured this thing. So I think that's the plan of attack. We'll go ahead and use the new 6-jaw over there at the Inco, get this chucked up and get a hole put in it. Get a quick face. Now just center drill it, and we'll step drill it a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and break that corner. First things first. Alright, let me get a center drill set up. 63/64 for our final drilling. I'm going to use some coolant here. Boring bore in, we'll do a skim pass to clean the bore up, get a measurement, and then that'll be good. That'll leave us enough meat to do the final bore on the mill. Taking about 25 thou total, about 12.5 depth of cut. Just enough to clean her up and let the carbide work. Spacer is all done, or should I say actually bearing support, not really a spacer. Get my terms right there, Tom. And I got my X and my Y, so I got the center of this hole, and I have a, hopefully you can see that right there, I just have a 60-degree center, which I use on the lathe, which is perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stick her down here. Hopefully you're seeing this pretty good. What we'll do is we'll get her lined up. That should get us almost dead nuts. And then what I'm gonna do is super glue this down so it'll stay. And then once that dries, then I can run a bolt through it, cinch her down real good, and then we'll get her over to the welding table and we'll burn a good weld in it, and she'll be good to go. So let me go grab the super glue and get this thing fastened up. Super glue all set up, so brought the part over here, got it snug down with a 3/4 inch bolt. So now we need to go ahead and burn a weld. It is recommended if you're going to weld on 4140 to preheat it. So I'm going to try some MAP gas. Hopefully that'll get it up to close to temp. If not, then I'll have to break out the rosebud. So let's see how it'll do. Burning in some weld here. Whew. Alright, I want to move you so I can get to where you're at. So it is cooled down, got it over here in the vise, and just trying to get everything right with the world. And hopefully you guys can see that. There's not too much glare. If I stand in front of the light a little bit to shadow it, but looks like we're pretty good. She stays on the 0 there to about 3/4 of it, as you see, and then now she starts to fall just a thou or so. I got maybe 5/8 of an inch more to go, but it's going to be so nice and flat, I don't think that's going to affect it. So we're going to go with it. Let me get the boring head set up, get over here, and we'll bore that hole for the bearing. So I'm going to go handheld. I got the boring head set up, and I dialed in 10 thou and took a skim pass, and hopefully you can see in there that we're not hitting on the 360 degrees on that bore, so that's why I'm glad obviously we did it this way. So now we'll be you know, right with the world here. So let me get you on a stationary holding gizmo, and then we'll do a couple cuts on camera. Dialed in another 10 thou. We got to go 800 thou deep. Auto feed is set at 1.5 thou per rev. All right, I'll continue on. I don't know if you can see it in there or not very well, but we got the whole bore now cleaned. So let's go ahead and get a reading here and see what we got, how much we got left to take off. Alright, so we're at 1 inch, 148. No, I'm sorry, yeah, 1 inch and 48 thou, and we have to go 1 inch, 101 thou. So another 20 thou depth or width of cut. Man, are we so close, you know, shooting for 1 inch and 101 thou, and we are like at 1 inch and 99 thou. So she just almost goes in. I don't think I can take a thou off. I've already done a skim pass, so I think we'll just go. It wants to start. I don't hope it won't be too much of a press fit that way, but I'm afraid if I mess with it any more, then I'm gonna be sloppy fit and I'm gonna be mad. So let me kind of just break that edge with a Noga deburr, and then we'll get this bearing in. Okay, let's cross our fingers here. Alrighty, she bottomed out. Let's hope she's not egged. Let's try the Arbor. Let me get it out of the vise though. Well, the bearings move, but man, it's snug. There she goes. Hopefully I'm still in frame. See how we did back here. Looks good. Well, I'm probably all over the place on this little cart. But it does fit. A little tighter than I like because, you know, we're going for about a thou press fit. Instead we have about 3. So alright, let's get over to the welding table. Well, I think it's a little too snug for my liking. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and drive that bearing back out, and then I'll run this round paper thing. I'm drawing a mental blank on what it is right now, and then just clean at that board just a little bit, you know, get about 1/2 to 3/4 of a thou or something, and that will loosen that press fit up a little bit, and then we'll drive that bearing back in. So that's the plan. Well, hopefully you guys can see that. Let me throw some additional light. I don't know if that'll help or if it'll wash it out. But I cleaned the bore out, got about a thou out of it and smoothed it out, because I think when I was boring it with that carbide tipped brazed on, you know, boring bar, those cheap ones that are, you know, you get like 8 in a pack of various sizes. You know, I still honed it and tried to get a good edge, but I don't think it was right, because once it started getting in there, it started rubbing and you could hear it squealing. So got that a nice bore, but unfortunately to get the bearing out, you know, there's not much meat there, so I kind of, you know, destroyed the bearing. Ordered a couple more. They're coming from California, so it'll probably be here another week, because I think it was free shipping, so they're probably just going to throw it parcel post. So I think with that, we'll just go ahead and end this video here, and then that will give us, you know, the last video. We can get the bearing in. I might go ahead and paint it while I'm waiting, and we'll get it on the mill, and hopefully we built a support that works, and we'll give it a test cut and then see what happens. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching.